What's going on YouTube? This is Busta here at Busta Plays, and today we're taking over the swaggiest coach in the NFL and we're rebuilding the Miami Dolphins. Now, taking a look at this team, this is one of the oldest rosters in the NFL, if not the oldest. Of course, you have young players like Tua and Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle. But for each of those, there's an older player to cancel them out, like Tyreek Hill, OBJ, Teron Armstead, even Jonnu Smith. And it doesn't get better on the defensive side of the ball, as you have Chop and Javon Holland, but Jalen Ramsey, Kendall Fuller, Jordan Poyer, even Jordan Brooks a little bit. All these players are older, and this whole defense needs to rebuild, which is why we're going to change the defensive playbook from the start, because we will be putting in all of our own pieces to try to build this defense a little bit differently. I know they're a divisional opponent, but we are going to steal Buffalo's defensive playbook and scheme. It works really well, and it's actually a fairly decent scheme match for us already. So we're going to go ahead and build off that and try to create some defensive stats. We're going to keep our offensive schemes and playbook the same right now, as Miami does have an explosive offense, but they need a better offensive line. Now, this is an insanely expensive team, and there are changes that we need to make to this roster right away, because we want to try to keep people like Javon Holland, because he is young, and Kader Kohu, just younger players. I mean, even Tyrell Dodson is... well, he's 26, so probably not. But a lot of these older players can go, and if we can get picks for them and redraft players for them, we'll be in a way better position. Well, Miami's 4-6. They did win this game against New England, so we are going to go ahead and force the win here, give ourselves the correct record at 5-6, and try to play this Thanksgiving Day game against the Green Bay Packers. All right, well, now we're at the accurate point in the year. Apparently, Green Bay lost to San Fran in this last week. But we're 5-6, taking on the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field. It's a cold one. We're going to go ahead and simulate out the rest of the year here. We'll see y'all at playoff time, and maybe we make it. Well, Madden really dislikes this team because we end up going 5-12. We don't win another game for the rest of the year to show how inaccurate Madden is, and Green Bay even went 10-7, which, as a Green Bay fan, I can only hope that that's not how that goes. But to look at our stats, Tua threw way too many interceptions and not a lot of touchdowns. Rushing, Achane, 731 yards, 6 touchdowns. Receiving, Tyreek Hill, 938 and 6 touchdowns. Waddle with 795 and 2. And Jonnu Smith with 752 and 3 touchdowns. We didn't even really give up that many sacks. Only 12 sacks given up. Defensively, Tyrell Dodson leading the team in tackles. Emmanuel Ogbah in TFLs. And Calais Campbell with 8 sacks. Zach Seiler with a sack and an interception. A decent amount of interceptions. 3 from Kader Kohu, somebody we'd like to keep around. 2 from Fuller. 2 from Jalen Ramsey. And then 1 from a bunch of other players. Well, I know we didn't win any awards because we had a terrible year. And I don't really expect us to have anybody in any of these categories, really. Maybe Chop Robinson at 5 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. But that's about it. Tua didn't play good. Derrick Henry, Achane doesn't make the list. Receiver-wise, Tyreek Hill is at 9. Offensive line-wise, we don't have anybody on the list there either. Calais Campbell for D-line, even though he's going to retire. No linebacker, no defensive back, and no kicker. Well, let's see who wins this Seattle and Raven Super Bowl. And the Baltimore Ravens walk away as Super Bowl champs. It's kind of what I figured would happen. All right, we're firing our offensive coordinator, bringing in a Lucas Giovanni, somebody with quarterback guru, because we need Tua to step it up. He's also a West Coast zone run, so that helps. Our defensive coordinator, we're also going to fire in Will Sanders. We want Sammy Rios. It's kind of who I always bring in because I like that Buffalo scheme. Well, we do have $28 million ending the year, so we're going to re-sign Javon Holland. He wants to be here. We're going to go ahead and offer him this very friendly player deal. He re-signs, and then I don't think we bring anybody else back. We'll try to spend this $16 million in the free agency. Well, I told y'all we needed to make some moves and trade some people away for younger players and draft picks. We got a clear cap. I know Miami fans would hate to see Tyreek Hill go, but in Madden perspective, he's 31, and with the needs of this roster and trying to rebuild this team, we just can't keep him around. There's really no trade offers for Tyreek, huh? All right, this is our trade. A first and a fourth, sending Tyreek Hill off to Carolina. They need a receiver, and you know they'd take him and give Bryce Young somebody good to throw to. Probably could have got a lot more there, and we do need to bring in a second receiver in the draft, but with the extra picks we have, we can do that. Defensively, we're going to have to move on from probably Kendall Fuller. Man, nobody wants Kendall Fuller, huh? Maybe we keep him. Do we try to move on from Jalen Ramsey? Another 30-year-old player that is just going to... Nobody is interested in Jalen Ramsey. We'll save Jalen until the draft. We'll let free agency pass. Let's see how much money we have and how much of a hit we took. We did take quite the hit trading away Tyreek Hill. Yeah, we're going to have no money to sign anybody. Again, not a big deal. We got some extra draft capital out of it, and definitely a position we can trade out of and get more. So let's get to this draft. All right, well, we have pick 4 and 7. Let's see who we can pick at these two spots. Well, first things first, we're taking a tackle. We got to have one. Will Campbell's sitting here. He's a top 5 talent. Ranked at 1, got him at 4. Hidden dev. You got to build the offensive line. We're going to stick with building the offensive line here. Josh Connerly Jr., another good offensive line prospect. Round 1 to 2 talent. Let's protect the outsides. Another hidden dev tackle. That's exactly what we need. Well, we need a tight end, and Mason Taylor is sitting here. We got to have somebody to replace Jonnu soon. So let's go ahead and bring him in. Ranked at 47, got him at 39, another hidden dev prospect. All right, Torrey Horton out of Colorado State. He doesn't look great, but we're going to get him. Elite jumping. Why not? Ranked at 111, got him at 101, and he's hidden dev, so that's actually really good for us. And we're back. Still in the 4th round here. We know what positions we really do need, and there's just very few that I think we can draft right now that look good. I'd like to check the guards out. I've gotten Joshua Gray before. He's not hidden dev. We need a center, a right guard. We're going to stick with Joshua Gray out of Oregon State. We need guards. Hopefully he develops. Does not look great. Maybe I should have remembered that. Well, taking a look here at the draft recap, I think we killed it. Will Campbell, a 79 overall left tackle. That's awesome. Josh Connerly, a 74 overall hidden dev. Mason Taylor, hidden dev 73. Torrey Horton, 70 overall hidden dev. We're going to make sure he sees the field. Then we made some questionable decisions. End up getting a 71 overall corner and some more questionable decisions. Well, offensively, we are starting to look on top of things as Tua's progressing. He's getting boost from the offensive coordinator. Joshua Gray, the rookie, was our best left guard, so he's going to get the start. The rest of the offensive line not looking too great. Hopefully Mason Taylor gets a lot of snaps, develops really well. Horton up to a 72, the second best receiver on the team, so he's going to see the field. Jalen Waddle, hopefully he develops nicely, taking over that number one role again. And defensively, we're kind of in a tough spot. We need a left end. We need some defensive tackles. I'd love to see Cross win a Rookie of the Year or something. That would be incredible. Highly doubtful, but incredible. And Jordan Brooks is serviceable. Star Dev, hopefully he just plays better than his overall. We could use a third cornerback, and I may look to trade Jalen Ramsey at the midseason, depending on how good we're doing. But at a 78 overall, I don't expect us to do too well. So let's get to the midseason and see how things are shaking up. Well, we're at the midseason, so that means we have players to re-sign. And Jalen Phillips at 26 is going to be one of those players that we choose to re-sign. Kendall Fuller, I would love to trade. We're going to have to wait. He's the only person we really have to worry about, though, as everybody else is really out the door. I mean, even Jake Bailey, the punter, we can find a replacement for him easy enough. Well, we're 3-4, so we're not really winning games. Oh, Will Campbell is a superstar dev player. That's awesome. I really want to start Mason Taylor over Jonnu, as he is the future, and that's all I care about. Connery a star dev. Horton a star dev. Defensively, I don't know that we had any dev traits. We didn't. Cross playing up to a 67, though. So he's gained an overall. That's good to see. Bradley Chubb, I'd like to see him develop a little bit more, even though he is older. I wonder if we can make a trade with Jalen Ramsey, or if that would put us way too far over the salary cap. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do any of these because of salary cap. So we can't trade them. That has really put us in a tough spot, not being able to get rid of some of these older players, especially Kendall Fuller and Jalen Ramsey. Well, let's see why we're not winning games. We started out 2-0 and then fell off. Tua is still throwing a lot of picks. He doesn't do good in this game. I don't know why. He just doesn't. Rushing, Achane needs to get over 4 yards a carry. Only has 2 rushing touchdowns. As we improve the interior line, that'll get better. Torrey Horton trying to make a Rookie of the Year push. Needs more touchdowns, though. 430 yards, 2 touchdowns. Are we giving up a lot of sacks? Aaron Brewer and Jackson Cameron leading the way. Not bad from the rest of the people. I mean, Joshua Gray has not played a lot, but no sacks so far. Defensively, Jordan Brooks leading the way. Bradley Chubb in TFLs and Bradley Chubb in sacks with 6. Jalen Phillips with 4.5. Seiler with 3 and only 3 interceptions, and that's not enough. Well, we know all we need to know at the midseason. Let's get to the end of this year, and I mean, hopefully we're still losing. We could use another high draft pick. Well, 2 in the year, we don't make the playoffs. We go 8-9, so we are better than last year. We're the 8th seed, so we're close, just a game out. The team's up to an 80 overall, and I like the fact that we are growing and getting better. The offensive line will get better as time goes on. Of course, I'm sure we'll draft some offensive linemen this year. Mason Taylor, for whatever reason, got benched for Jonnu, but he is a star dev. Horton up to a 75 overall already. Love to see that. Achane playing down to an 81. That's not great. And defensively, we didn't have any star dev or hidden dev players, but that will be a big focus this year for us in the draft and potentially the free agency. Doesn't look like we're in Coach of the Year or MVP runnings. Offensive Player of the Year, nobody's there. Defensive Player of the Year, nobody. Offensive Rookie goes to McMillan out of Arizona. Horton is at 4. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Xavier Scott. Cross at 9. It's interesting. Best quarterback, Tua at 9. Best running back, not on the list. Best wide receiver, not on the list. Best offensive line, not on the list. Best defensive line, nope. Best linebacker, Bradley Chubb at 5. And Jalen Phillips at 7. Best defensive back goes to the white corner out of Denver. Let's take a moment to congratulate Riley Moss. No, just kidding. Jalen Ramsey at 6. Cam Smith at 9. Best kicker, Sanders at 7. And, of course, we kind of figured we wouldn't have any award winners. And I'd like to take a look at our stats because I didn't at the end of the year. Tua, 3,400 yards, 23 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. 42 sacks. That had to be the second half of the year because we hadn't given up that many in the first half. Devon A-Chain, only 700 yards, but 7 touchdowns. Receiving, Horton, almost 1,000, only 2 touchdowns, though. If he could have bumped that up, he probably would have won Rookie of the Year. Malik Washington with 9. Jalen Waddle with 6. Yeah, way too many sacks. 12 for the superstar left tackle rookie. Okay. 8, 6, and 5. Defensively, Jordan Brooks leading the way with tackles. Bradley Chubb in TFLs, and it looks like Bradley Chubb in sacks with 10. Jalen Phillips with 9. Seiler with 6. Cross with 3. Jalen Ramsey with 5 picks. Cam Smith with 4. Needham with 2. 2 for Javon Holland. 1 for Brooks, and 1 for Kendall Fuller. Let's see if we had any dev traits gained. And on the offensive side of the ball, it doesn't look like it. Defensively, yeah, we didn't have any. Oh, Cam Smith. Cam Smith gets a dev trait. That's awesome. He did have a good enough year, and that helps us out in the third 3 spot. And the Raiders win the Super Bowl with De'Ami Brown as the Super Bowl MVP. That'd be crazy if it happened in real life. Well, we have players to re-sign, and I'm not really interested in re-signing any of them. Let's take this $20 million to the free agency and see if we can improve this team. All right, so we're going after 2 players here. One in Jordan Davis, just because he's 26 and he helps us out immediately on the defensive line. And Daniel Falele, a right guard, because you can never be too sure that you're going to fix your offensive line in one draft. Let's see if we get them. And we do get both of them. They're going to help this team immediately. All right, we are trying to move off of Jalen Ramsey. The high cap hit, the age, all of it. This is an offer that Madden's given me. We're going to take it. It gives us a first-round pick in the future and some more trade bait. All right, well, we need to move up to the 8th overall pick in the draft. So that's what we're going to try to do here. All right, we're trading 2 firsts and a second to go up to pick 8. There's a cornerback we want there. I may have overpaid for that. I don't really care. I have 2 firsts this year. That's all I care about. And there's a cornerback here, and Marquis Melton, top 5 talent in the draft. We got to replace Jalen Ramsey, and that's exactly what we're doing. Hidden dev, perfect fit for our team. You know what? We need it says we need a left end, a right end. We need a left end. Tracy Matthews looks like the best available, so we're going to go ahead and bring him in at pick 16. And, yeah, we whiffed. All right, Elijah Malone kind of looks like the best left guard available. So we're going to go ahead and bring him in. Hidden Dev fixes us a left guard really fast. All right, there's a defensive tackle here in Antoine Linder. I know he's a speed rusher. He's not really a scheme fit, but he's a round 1 to 2 talent and a fantastic athlete. Ranked at 33, got him at 80 and a hidden dev, and we need defensive tackles. Robert Charles is the best strong safety. We need one, so that's who we're picking. And he was terrible. And looking at the draft recap, of course, we had a fantastic draft. The first 4 picks of 79, 72, 73, and 74 overall players. Tracy Matthews wasn't great, but hopefully he can get a lot of sacks and maybe get a depth trait and a defensive rookie of the year. Well, this is the lineup going into year 3, and the team's looking pretty good. We need Tua to continue to develop. The offensive line is starting to move in the right direction a little bit. They look a little bit better. Taylor going into his second year. Horton going into his second year. Both look like they could develop. We need Achane to really play better with this new offensive line. Defensively, we add Jordan Davis. We add Linder. We add Melton. And we add Matthews. All these players, hopefully, and Nate Hobbs, actually. Hopefully, this kind of, I don't want to say it's not a less talented defense. It is a more, just the talent spread out a little bit more, and we have some younger talent in here. So hopefully these guys can really produce for us, and it translates to wins. Well, we have $100 million, and we do have quite a few people to reach. Well, really only 3 people I'm concerned with re-signing. And that's these 3. The first is Devon Achane. And with the way the NFL currently looks, running backs are about to start getting paid. The way Saquon, Josh Jacobs, and Derrick Henry are lighting up the league, it's going to follow. Nate Hobbs, 27 years old. I'd offer this 3-year deal that's going to take him to 30. He should be good enough. And Cam Smith, 25 years old, 75 overall star dev, is cheap enough that we're going to give him a insanely cheap 5-year deal that hopefully keeps him around and he's going to develop nicely. Everybody else we're going to look to replace. And we're only 2-5, which is actually kind of terrible. I don't know why we're losing these games. And it looks like we're losing these games. It's got to be the playbook. Tua is a 89 overall superstar dev and turns the ball. Just throws a pile of interceptions. Devon Achane finally over that 4 yards carry mark, 5 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle leading the team in receiving, but only 1 receiving touchdown. Horton taking a step back this year with yards. Blocking, let me guess, our best offensive lineman giving up the most sacks. That's a Madden game. Defensively, Jordan Brooks leading the team in tackles. Jalen Phillips in TFLs and Bradley Chubb in sacks with 3. Siler somehow seeing the field a lot. Howard Cross seeing the field, getting a sack. The rookie Antone Linder getting a sack. Just not a lot of turnovers and not a lot of sacks. But the rookie Marquise Melton does have an interception. The rookie left guard Malone is a superstar dev player. We're building this offensive line perfectly. Defensively, Linder is a superstar, or just a star dev. Somehow, it changed the lineup and put Bradley Chubb here over Chop Robinson, which is not what we want. Let that be the lineup. Melton, only a star dev, but a high enough overall, it shouldn't matter. The team looks like it's in a really good spot to develop. We've got to change playbooks, though. Well, we stopped at week 13 to do our focus scouting. We're sitting at 4-7, which isn't great. We are ranked at 15th, which is something. It means we're not playing good, but we have a receiver breakout, so I want to see who it's for. And it is from Malik Washington. We're going to give him a goal of 75 receiving yards and a touchdown. Hopefully he can get it and get a dev trait. Well, I doubt it, being we only put up 10 points against the Chicago Bears. Well, he only got 1,000 XP. Did they nerf that? It used to be like 2,500. That feels rigged. Let's get to the playoffs. Hopefully we can turn the season around and at least go win out and go 9-8. All right, I have a new theory. Playbooks don't matter. Tua is just terrible in Madden. He does not do good in Madden Sim. I'll let y'all know a little bit. This is the second time I'm doing this rebuild. The first file got corrupted. We made the playoffs one time in 4 years, had an 89 overall team. Tua never once threw for 30 touchdowns. Never. No matter what playbook I've done, I'm in the Kansas City playbook. That is known for giving quarterbacks 30 plus touchdowns. A lot of interceptions, but they always get 30 plus touchdowns. This is the last year of Tua on the Dolphins. We're making him retire. He got another concussion. I just don't know what else to do. Achane also never produces in this offense, no matter how good the offensive line is. 795, 6 touchdowns. Receiving, Torrey Horton leading the way, 862, 7 touchdowns. Malik Washington with 9 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle falling off for whatever reason. The star left tackle, superstar, I should say, left tackle, leading the team in sacks with 13. Defensively, Jordan Brooks leading the way in tackles, Jalen Phillips in TFLs, and Bradley Chubb in sacks with 8. Not a lot of sacks from anyone else. 2 interceptions for Matt Sims, 2 for Javon Holland, 1 for Brooks, 1 for Melton, 1 for Smith, and 1 for Nate Hobbs. I just want to say, we had a draft. We're a higher overall than last year. We go 4-13. This game is terrible. And we have a Jets-Cowboys Super Bowl. Something you'll never see is the Jets in the Super Bowl. Somehow they're 13-4. Madden doesn't understand that they're a terrible franchise. Same with the Cowboys. But we're going to look at the yearly awards. We don't have anybody in here. We're not going to. It's just not likely that the only opportunity we would have was maybe a defensive rookie of the year. And Melton barely hits 10. Simmons, the free safety that came in at some point, is at 5 because he had 2 interceptions. Not going to be, 2 is at 10 for best quarterback. Running back, not Achane at 10. Receiver, not on the list. Offensive lineman, not going to be on the list. Defensive lineman, not going to be on the list. Linebacker, Jalen Phillips is at 4. And defensive back, we don't have anybody there. Kicker, Sanders at 9. And the Jets win a Super Bowl. I got nothing. All right, we're going after one player, and it's Jack Campbell. We need a middle linebacker. We're offering him a shit ton of money. Let's just hope we don't even get him. The contract I offered him was insane, and he goes to Miami or to Tennessee. Yeah, I've got nothing else. Nobody else on the free agency was even really worth signing outside of Jack Campbell. All right, we're trading Tua. We're going to the second pick. Just trust me on this. And we're going with a right outside linebacker. I think somebody that we're going to move around down to a pass rush position. He's a top 5 projection. Ranked at 5, got him at 2. Hidden dev. It's exactly what we need on the defense. All right, we're trading a first and a third in the future to move up to the first round, or the first pick of the second draft, because we just traded away our quarterback. We need another one. Justin Randolph is our guy. Just looks like a really good strong arm quarterback, but he's normal dev. Hopefully he's good enough to win us Rookie of the Year. All right, well, we have a center here. You know we need one. Hopefully he's good enough to take over the starting role, and he's hidden dev, so he probably will. This is just the best player on our board, a round 1 talent. So why not bring him in? Ranked at 19, a hidden dev, another defensive tackle for us. All right, this is the top middle linebacker available. We're going to go ahead and take him. I don't think he's hidden dev at all. Yeah, he was terrible. It was a mistake, but we needed one. The draft didn't really go too much in our favor. We did get a really nice right outside linebacker that I think we're going to go ahead and bring down to the right end. Make him a left end, 77 overall. He goes up, hidden dev. We got our rookie quarterback in Justin Randolph. Hopefully we can get him a rookie of the year maybe and a dev trait. New center, hidden dev, a defensive tackle that's hidden dev, and then a couple of whiffed picks there at the end. Oh, and I was just doing the training for our rookie quarterback, and he gets a dev trait. So you couldn't ask for anything better there, playing up to a 76 overall. We're probably going to go ahead and upgrade the field general. That way his accuracies increase a good bit. And again, getting that star dev, you couldn't ask for more. Well, we're going into year 4, and this is what the team's looking like. Randolph, the rookie quarterback, playing up to a 78 overall and got the star dev. Horton, a 78. Jalen Waddle, an 87. Of course, our offensive line starting to look really good, especially with the rookie center that's a hidden dev. Taylor, I'd like to see develop a little bit more. Same going for Achane. He's a superstar player. Why they only have him with star development in this game, with as fast as he is and as electric of a player as he is in real life, he should go up in dev. But everybody that works for Madden sucks. I'm small, so I can say that as far as a content creator goes. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, Chop Robinson lost his dev trait, which sucks. We're slim at middle linebacker. We're going to go ahead and start the rookie Eubanks. Just in hopes for a rookie of the year and a dev trait. Jalen Phillips, the best linebacker by far. The defensive line is getting there. Wilkins is a rookie, a hidden dev. Hopefully he pops a really good dev trait. We got a decent corner room. The safety room needs some help at the strong safety side. I went back to normal draft classes. The strong draft classes just seem too easy. But with the way these draft classes have treated me, I might have to go back to strong. Well, we have $166 million and nobody to really re-sign. I'm not worried about re-signing anybody here. Nobody's good enough to really make the cut to re-sign. Maybe Falele would be the only one. Everybody else can go. And we're 3-4, so we're no worse than we've been at any other point in this rebuild. And our rookie turning the ball over a lot, but also throwing more touchdowns than Tua has at the midseason. Normally he's at like 8. So we've already got 15. He's turning the ball over a lot, but hopefully that can change. Devon Achane still over that 4 yards a carry. Not a lot of touchdowns though. Jalen Waddle with 429 receiving yards. The most touchdowns he's had, I think, so far at the midpoint. Everybody else coming along pretty nicely as well. Blocking, are we giving up a lot of sacks? Our right tackle is, but our left tackle's not the leader anymore. And being he's a superstar dev player, that makes me feel a little bit better. Defensively, Matt Simmons, the free safety, leading the team in tackles. Bradley Chubb in TFLs, and Antoine Linder, the second-year defensive tackle, in sacks with 7.5. Jalen Phillips with 4.5. The rookie Wilkins with 2.5. 2 interceptions for Nate Hobbs, 1 for Holland, 1 for Beenum, and 1 for Cam Smith. Now, if we know any of our dev traits, the rookie center is just a star dev. Randolph playing pretty good as of right now. We don't know Pierce's dev trait, but Linder's got to move up to defensive tackle 1. We'll move Pierce up to defensive tackle 2. And Wilkins, the rookie, up to an 80 overall. And a superstar dev. That's what you like to see. Eubanks, we just want to see more tackles and potentially a dev trait. Well, year 4 was not the year we planned it to be. Going 6-11, we probably should have moved off Tua a little bit earlier. 6-11 is better than last year with Tua, where we went 4-13. And, our rookie quarterback had a full-on Jameis Winston year. 36 touchdowns, 27 interceptions. More yards than Tua had thrown in the last 3 years with us, though, with 4,400. Hopefully he doesn't lose his dev trait. I mean, going Jameis Winston is something. Devon Achane, though, with his most yards so far with us at 915. 4 touchdowns, though. Mason Taylor breaks 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle finally breaking 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. Torrey Horton, 958 and 5. Malik Washington, 789 and 10. We're doing stuff, and we're giving up a lot of sacks. Both of our young, nicely developed tackles, just tackles in this game, don't make sense. 10 sacks for both of them. 9 for Falele. 9 for the rookie center. 5 for our superstar dev left guard. Defensively, Matt Simmons led the team in tackles, only 88. Jalen Phillips in TFLs. Linder right behind him with 13. George Wilkins, the rookie, jumped out of nowhere with 15 sacks. That is awesome. Linder with 11.5. Chubb with 9.5. Jalen Phillips with 7.5. We turned the year around with sacks. The second year cornerback in interceptions with 3. He was the only one that popped. He had 0, I think, at the midseason. Turns it around, gets 3 out of nowhere, and leads the team. Well, we have Baltimore's back in the Super Bowl, going against the Eagles. Bird Super Bowls have been a big thing recently. And I just saw something. I don't want to spoil it. We don't have an MVP runner. We don't have a Coach of the Year. But we don't have an Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, though, the rookie George Wilkins at 3. So I know y'all know he won Rookie of the Year, obviously. Antoine Linder at 9. So we're starting to make our way onto some lists. Justin Randolph does win Rookie of the Year with the 27 interceptions I think he threw. So that's exciting. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to George Wilkins. So we get both. Tyler Eubanks at 7. Hopefully that means some good development out of the middle linebacker. But 15 sacks. He had 2 at the midseason. Ended with 15. So in the last 8 games, or 9 games, he got 13 sacks. Best quarterback, we're not going to be there. Probably not going to be on the best running back list either. Best wide receiver, we don't make the list. Best offensive lineman, Josh Gray somehow makes it to 10. Best defensive lineman, George Wilkins at 3, Linder at 5, and Bradley Chubb at 9. Best linebacker, Jalen Phillips, comes in 2nd. Best defensive back, we're not on the list. And best kicker, we're also not on the list. The Eagles beat out the Baltimore Ravens, and Zach Bond, apparently they re-signed him in Madden, as they should. He's been incredible this year for them in real life. And the Panthers apparently got a quarterback with their pick. They got Dan Schwartz. He wins Rookie of the Year as well over in the NFC side. But again, we won the AFC Rookie of the Year with both of our players, and you love to see that. Now, let's go ahead and take a look, see what dev traits we got, if we got any from these awards. And we did. Randolph goes up to Superstar Dev. Jalen Waddle loses his, which is a little bit concerning. But Taylor, the tight end, also goes up to Superstar Dev. We really only need a right guard and maybe another receiver, and this team is going to be just putting up an amazing amount of points. Defensively, I would have liked to seen Wilkins go to Superstar Dev. We do need some help on the defensive side of the ball, but we have a pile of money, $90 million to be exact. So hopefully with that $90 million, we can add some pieces in the free agency. All right, well, I'm getting unrealistic here with who we're offering just because I can. I have the money. We could sign all 5 of these guys and still have $95 million left over. Let's see who we get. Well, we got Terrion Arnold, Xavier Worthy, Dominic Pooney, and Adisa Isaac. Now, I will say we still have a lot of people left over. We can upgrade. I'm going to get these guys from the free agency put in. We'll see you at the draft. Hopefully, we can get a couple more key positions to really, really strengthen this team. All right, well, we're pausing the draft. I'm just making moves. And that does it. Moving up one spot with Detroit, and Raymond McMullen is the pick. He's got to be, hopefully, give me a hidden dev, please. Ranked at 13, got him at 4. Only a normal dev. It probably should be good enough to start, though. And we got pick 2, or round 2, pick 7. I'm pretty sure I focus scouted this guy. Jaleel Bowman, though, we need a middle linebacker. Please be a hidden dev. Ranked at 51, got him at, and he's normal dev too. In this last spot, man, we really have to go strong safety. So it's going to be the best run support guy available in Robert Thomas, a 2 first name guy. Give me a hidden dev. Nope, normal dev. Oh well, hopefully he's good enough to play. In round 4, we're doing the most unorthodox of unorthodox moves, and that's going to be taking a kicker. We're going Jamie McAllister, a kicker. It's what we need. Give me a hidden dev. Just normal. Well, we didn't draft a single hidden dev player, so that kind of really sucks, but we got a kicker. We added some good players at positions of need, and rookies that probably will still see the field even though they're normal dev. Well, we're at the beginning of year 5, and we have what I believe to be a Super Bowl winning team as... Oh, we do have a hidden dev running back that I did not see, but superstar dev quarterback, 3 really good receivers, a really good offensive line continuing to develop, a good tight end that's developing. Defensively, a superstar dev, second year left end, a rookie right end, 2 good defensive tackles. I wonder, has he been? Yeah, he's been star dev, Calvin Pierce. 3 good corners, a good free safety, good linebackers, or decent linebackers, I should say. We're really struggling at strong safety, but it's a position that I'm focus scouting for next year if we're not able to get a Super Bowl this year. So let's go ahead and get to the midseason, see how this team's playing. We're an 86 overall. It's the highest overall we've had so far. We should be winning games. Well, we have 96 million, and we do have players to re-sign, but again, only 3 players to re-sign with $96 million in cap room. We can make that work easily as we get Mason Taylor to re-sign. Jalen Waddle, I'll offer him a decent amount. He doesn't really want to be here, but he stays. Torrey Horton, another player that I'll just go ahead and offer him a good deal. He's young. The rest of everybody else can go. We'll probably accept, at least Marquise Melton's option. We have 2 defensive line breakouts, which is awesome out of our team. Let's see what they are, or who they are, I should say. Calvin Price, of course, is one. As Mike McDaniel's not looking as swaggy in Madden. Oh, and he just gets the dev up to superstar. We could only hope for the same thing out of Antoine. And since it just says DL Breakout, said the same thing, I'm hoping it's the same thing. Give us 2 superstar defensive linemen. That's Mike McDaniel. I know that's the head coach. Why did that disappear? I can't see it. George Wilkins needs 4+ TFLs or a loss for I think that's supposed to say 4+ tackles for loss for a dev upgrade. That's a really tough goal. but he is trying to go to superstar dev. 1,600 yards, 16 touchdowns, only 5 picks. So Justin Randolph, our franchise quarterback, is developing and getting rid of that turnover bug he had his rookie year. Devon Achane, though, does regress, but has 3 touchdowns. That's the most touchdowns he's had at the midseason so far. I just wish he would break that 4.5 yards a carry average. Torrey Horton leading the team in yards and touchdowns. Well, tied with Xavier Worthy with touchdowns, but we got 4 players over 300 receiving yards. You can't argue that or be upset. Right tackle giving up the most sacks. Left tackle right behind him. Who would have thought? Defensively, Trevin Wallace leading the team in tackles with 52. George Wilkins in TFLs and Calvin Pierce in sacks with 4. Hopefully we have another big year out of George Wilkins. He only had 2 at the midseason last year. I'd like to see that turn around again. Terry and Arnold with 2 picks. Nate Hobbs with 2. 1 for Wallace, Williams, and Robert Thomas. All right, let's get to the end of the year, see how this team is playing. Well, to end year 5, we go 9-8, so we're gonna have to do a 6th year. I don't understand why we're not winning games. Statistically, Justin Randolph had a fantastic year, a better year than Tua ever had. This is the best rushing year Devon Achane has had so far. Receiving, Horton over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. Worthy with 933 and 7. Mason Taylor, 899 and 6. Jalen Waddle, 835 and 7. Still giving up a pile of sacks. I don't know why. We have good overall offensive linemen. Doesn't make sense. Trevin Wallace leading the team in tackles. Calvin Pierce in TFLs. And Jalen Phillips in sacks, as George Wilkins didn't have the return of sacks this year that I thought he would. And our rookie right end had 0 sacks, which is awesome. So no dev trait for him. Jalen Phillips with 9, though. 3 picks for Terry and Arnold, 3 for Nate Hobbs, 2 for Trevin Wallace, 2 for Marquise Melton, 1 for Bowman, 1 for Williams, and 1 for Robert Thomas. Well, if we look at our dev traits, our receivers haven't moved, but our tight end goes up to Superstar X Factor. Our offensive line looks fantastic. Our quarterback's playing up to a 90 overall. And defensively, Pierce goes up to a Superstar X Factor. Wilkins stays the same. Trevin Wallace goes up to a star dev. We have a really good team, 89 overall. I don't know why we're not winning. But regardless of us winning, we have a Bears-Ravens Super Bowl. The Ravens keep making it. We don't have anybody on the MVP list. Coach of the Year, of course, we don't have anybody. Now, Offensive Player of the Year, again, we have nobody. Defensive Player of the Year, we have nobody. Offensive Rookie, Newman, the backup running back at 9. Defensive rookie, Bowman at 5. Best quarterback, Randolph at 5. That's the highest we've had that position before. Achane at 4. That's the highest he's been. Receiver, Horton at 6. Another highest. Offensive lineman, not on the list. Defensive lineman, Calvin Pierce at 9. Best linebacker, Jalen Phillips at 6 and Trevin Wallace at 9. Best defensive back, nobody on the list. And best kicker, not on the list. And the Baltimore Ravens win the Super Bowl. Isaiah Foskey must have had some sort of touchdown as he wins the Super Bowl MVP from the defensive side of the ball. The only thing I could really see us pursuing is like a safety, but I mean, at 33 years old, Budda Baker's not really worth it, and neither is anybody else. It's just tough that now is when we have the money to sign people, and it's all 30-plus-year-old players. All right, well, we don't have a pick to the third round, but what we're going to do is we're going to trade up with the Ravens at pick 32. All right, a second, a third, a fifth, and a seventh. We get a first rounder this year with Baltimore. There's a safety there. I'm trusting the mock draft that he's still available. I'm going to assume there is going to be at least one safety available, as he may have gone to Green Bay. I cannot remember his name. Nope, he's not gone. Byron Goodson, a top 5 talent in the draft. Welcome to Miami. He should be our fix, ranked at 4. Normal depth. Why? And that's the only pick we're going to make this draft. We don't really need anything anywhere else. And draft recap time. We didn't have many picks, but Byron Goodson's still a 77 overall, so he's going to start for our team. Well, this is our offense going into year 6. Achane playing up to a 90. Randolph up to a 91. Waddle, Worthy, and Horton all all low to high 80s. Waddle and Worthy in the high 80s. Horton's the only one that's in the lows. Our offensive line looks fantastic. Mason Taylor up to an 86 overall. Superstar X Factor. Our defensive line looks fairly good. McMullen, I really wish we would have had a better rookie year out of and maybe got a defensive rookie of the year. Our linebackers are all mid, but they are all good enough. The rookie strong safety, Holland, who has not developed at all. We re-signed him as a 25-year-old. He's now 29 and has not gone up a single overall point. Terry and Arnold, Melton. Hobbs is hurt, but we still have Cam Smith. We signed him for super cheap. He was really good, or was developing nicely, but just cut off. I don't know why. Hopefully this team performs. We'll see you at the midseason to see how they're doing. Well, at the midseason, Justin Randolph, 2,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Devon Achane, not great. He's just, running backs don't produce in this system. 2 receivers over 500 yards. Horton almost at 6 with 10 touchdowns. Xavier Worthy with 3. Jalen Waddle falling off a bit. Blocking. Giving up a good amount of sacks, even though we have really good players. As normal, Jaleel Bowman leading the team in tackles and TFLs. Linder in sacks. Both defensive tackles ahead of the team in sacks. Wilkins and McMullen only with 1. Wilkins is like 90 overall. I don't know why he doesn't get sacks. Javon Holland, 2 picks. I'm really stunned because it doesn't seem as if anybody's hurt. We're a 90 overall and we're 1-6. The team looks amazing. This is one of the better teams I've ever put together in a rebuild, and we're not winning games. So, Jalen Phillips is hurt, but that shouldn't be the cost of us going 1-6. The Patriots, we blew out. We've lost every other game by 1 score other than the Chiefs, who blew us out. Our defense has not been good. I just really don't know what to do here. Well, this is how you know Madden's unrealistic. We're in year 6 and we finally make the playoffs at 10-7. Without Tua, but we have to take on the Cincinnati Bengals, so let's get to it. So let's go ahead and get to the end of the game and see if we can beat Cincinnati, as they score first and they haven't had a problem scoring. So we're going to go ahead and jump in on offense. See if we can... we really should probably hop in on defense too. But we're going to try to score first and hope our defense can get a stop against this Cincinnati team. And Achane is going to get down to the 2-yard line. And We're going to go to a stretch play, see if we can take this to the outside. We can't because for some reason our really good offensive line is really bad. So we'll try the RPO with Waddle. And Waddle gets into the end zone. Well, we're on our own 2-yard line, but we have a chance to score and take the lead here. Our defense got to stop. Achane getting a big gain down to the 24. I want to burn as much clock as possible here, so we're going to keep running the ball. As Achane's going to break 2 tackles there and get a first down. And I'll run it as long as they let me. As Achane gets a gain of 5. And I'll keep handing him the ball as long as they let me hand him the ball. Our defense has figured some stuff out, stopped them. It's 3rd and 2. They do have somebody over on that side, but we get the first down. We're going to put this into chew clock and try to burn as much time as we can while also still gaining some yards, as we only get a gain of 2 with Achane and in the 3rd quarter. All right, 2nd and 8. We're going back to the run. They don't really have a lot in the middle of the field, so hopefully we can get the first down, and we do. Achane having an incredible game. I have a chew clock on, so I don't understand why we're not chewing clock. Yeah, I have chew clock on. I want to burn clock. I want to burn as much time as possible. As Achane takes the screen down to the 16, where we are down by 4 or 3. And I'd really like to score a touchdown, put us up by 4, but I want to do it with the right amount of time on the clock, and we just got to keep burning clock at this stage. And the best way to do that is to keep running the ball. As Achane gets the first, we're at the 5, and we still have clock to burn. We have all 3 timeouts, so even if they score, we can come out and try to. I was going to say this is where we try to score, but they were actually able to stop us there, so we're going to try here. From this point on, we really try to just squeeze into the end zone, and we're not going to get it there, as we will just try a QB sneak to get into the end zone. They're kind of prepared for this, but we're going to try it anyway. And we get in. That puts us up by 4. And we do win in the wild card round against the Cincinnati Bengals, 25-21. Exactly what we needed to do. Well, we have a divisional round against the Indianapolis Colts. Let's see if we can go in here and win this game. And we're going to the end of the game. Hopefully, we can put points up first, as we don't seem to be able to do so. But we do tie it. We're going to play all offense, as it is our time to kind of burn clock while also scoring points. 4 minutes left on the clock. Well, we found ourselves in a really good spot here against the Colts where it is a low scoring defensive game at the 2 minute warning. 7-7 with 2 minutes to go in the last quarter. This is where we start to burn clock and just run the ball. Try to get a last second field goal or touchdown to put us up above. Well, they finally called their first timeout at 1 minute and 19 seconds left to go. We're just running the ball and going down, getting the first downs. 1:15 left. They get an injury timeout, but they only have one timeout left, so let's try and not score. Hopefully we can. Oh, we do score. That's a bummer. But our defense holds out. We win 14-7 in the divisional round. That's exactly what we needed. Now in the AFC Championship, we have to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Let's see if we can get a win. Let's go to the end of the game as we are on the board first. Let's score again. We do. We got to keep our foot on the pedal. But we have a 21-7 lead, and that's how the game ends. And we're finally headed to the Super Bowl here in year 6. Well, this one hurts as we're going to play my Green Bay Packers, but we have a 4 overall difference. We are the better team. As the MVP, we don't have anybody in the running. Coach of the Year, we're still not there. Offensive Player, Horton at 6. Defensive Player, nobody on the list. Offensive Rookie, Kowalski, the tight end at 6. Defensive Rookie, Goodson at 4. Best quarterback, Randolph at 8. Running back, not on the list. Wide receiver, Horton at 2. Nobody at best offensive line. Best defensive line, not on the list. Best linebacker, not on the list. Best defensive back, not on the list. Best kicker, not on the list. Now, let's get into the Super Bowl. See if we can get a Super Bowl win. I believe a second Miami Dolphins Super Bowl win. Well, we're going to go to the end of the game, see if we can beat the 13-4 Green Bay Packers as they score first, but we tie it 14-7, 14-14, 21-14. Let's see if our offense can keep up, and it looks like we can as we win the Super Bowl 28-14. Let's take a look at how Justin Randolph did. 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, a 133 rating. Achane, a touchdown and 49 yards. Jalen Waddle, a touchdown and 85. Mason Taylor, 57 and a touchdown. Achane also had a receiving touchdown with only 8 receiving yards. Defensively, Jaleel Bowman leading the team in tackles. 1 sack for Jalen Phillips. 4 TFLs throughout the day. And 0 interceptions. Well, we beat my Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl to finally get our first here at year 6. And as I am super excited that we won a Super Bowl, I want to say goodbye to the roster as Justin Randolph's playing up to a 98. Our offensive line is rated higher than they're playing. Mason Taylor up to an 89. The receivers look fantastic. I mean, really. Horton is... His base overall is a 84. playing fantastic. Defensively, we're playing fantastic as Pierce is playing up to a 92. Wilkins up to a 93. Our entire defense is playing great. Justin Randolph still had an incredible year. Achan, not great. Receiving wise, 2,000-yard receivers. Torrey Holton with 19 touchdowns. Blocking, yeah, we gave up a lot of sacks. Will Campbell, even though he's superstar, didn't develop, didn't block the way he should have, in my opinion, anyway. Jaleel Bowman led the team in tackles. We already went over all this. We won the Super Bowl. That was our goal of year 6. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know down in the comments if there's a team that you want to see rebuilt. Until next time.